What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crank and Wagon channel. So when this video comes out, we're gonna the Jetta's sort of wrapped up. It's not done, but it's doing daily driver things, daily driver status at this point. It's been driving good, and just getting to know the car and the ECU setup and everything. One of the things that the car is driving fine, and it's doing okay. So at this point, we're moving on to other things. As you'll see in the upcoming videos, there's going to be another car on the channel, and then we're going to be getting to some engine work on the VR6 Turbo Passat, or also known as the Crank and Wagon. So I figured I sort of like do a little bit of a wrap-up video so that you guys can see the payoff. A couple things is, I haven't done the fuel pump, so it's still on the stock fuel pump, which is a bad idea. I'm going to be doing that, and I'll probably do a video because I'm going to modify the basket to fit a Walbro 255, because that's all this car needs. So that's one thing that I got to do. We're currently running it on 91, so pretty conservative. The boost is, right now I have it adjusted to about 11 psi. So the one thing I noticed with this ECU is that it's a bit slow with processing information, it seems, and it's a bit conservative on timing, and it doesn't help that the gears are so short. You quickly run through the RPM. What I find is that in the taller gears, the higher up gears, that when the RPM is a bit more steady and accelerating, that the car is happier, and it seems like there's a little bit more timing that way. When you're in the lower gears, it revs up so quick that it feels like something's holding it back, and I think it's just information is happening so fast for the ECU. And I mean, these 2-liter 8-valve ECUs are kind of known to not be very good, so which I knew that going in, right? So it was meant to be like a budget thing, and we're not going to be achieving huge numbers. It was never intended to reach huge numbers. This was just meant to be a fun daily that I could drive year round, because in Canada you have your summer car and your winter beater and sort of thing. So this is the plan for this. I do have a couple of upgrades. Like I mentioned, the fuel pump. I have 2-inch intercooler piping. What my buddy has is his dyno setup. I'm gonna fabricate 2.5-inch intercooler piping, and we're gonna do runs back to back to see what spool time is like, to see what power numbers are like. The other thing we're gonna do, or I'm gonna do, and he'll probably help me, is we're gonna make a short runner intake manifold, and then we'll do runs on 2.5-inch piping with a short runner intake manifold. And potentially what I might do is I might do a direct port water meth setup, so that I can continue to run the cheap 91 fuel, but have the boost set up a little bit higher, so that when it does go full boost, I have a little bit of extra octane in there for safety. Because like this, the ECU setup and injector setup, you're probably good for like 270 wheel, Not that I'm intending to pass that, but what I'm intending to do is to run 270 wheel with a little bit of extra safety. So that's the plan, or potential plan. So for the time being, I have other things I got to do. So this car is going to get, other than I'm going to do the fuel pump pretty soon. Other than that, we probably won't see this that much in the upcoming videos. Okay, so this is the Jetta as it stands right now. That's the height that she's going to sit at. And we got the grill all painted up. That's where the intercooler sits. The GLI interior in now instead of the tan leather. So the turbo seems to respond pretty well, which is why I'm thinking that when I go to 2.5 inch, half inch in pipe will not really affect the lag time. I think the turbo will still, light up pretty quick, and I think it will benefit top end power to take advantage of the ported head and the cam. And I think the other limiting factor will be the intake manifold, because it's quite a long runner design to promote torque production, right? Because these 2-liter 8 valves, without the benefit of boost, they're pretty slow and they're not very powerful. But they do have, all things considered, they do have a really good mid-range torque power, so if you're on the highway and you hit the throttle, while it doesn't accelerate quick, it does respond quickly. So just to aid power, obviously, right? Like, it doesn't have a lot, so they do what they can to make it so that wherever you're using it most of the time is where the engine's got a little more jam. So they have a mild camshaft, small ports, long runner head, intake manifold design. So when we go to a short runner, I think that'll definitely benefit mid-range to, well, not mid-range, like maybe the upper mid-range to top-end performance. But the turbo does respond fairly quickly, so while we will lose some bottom-end power, I don't think it's going to be affected that much. But we do have a ported head and a big cam, so I think making everything kind of work together better will definitely increase power. We'll do some pulls and some accelerating, partial throttle, that kind of thing, so that you guys get a sense of like how it drives. So you can see the RPMs with this is the stock transmission for this car, and this is the highest or shortest ratio, highest final drive that they have for the Mark IVs. So you see we're doing 120 on the highway, and we're just at 3,600 RPM. Now I verified the speedo with the GPS, and it's now with the bigger wheels and tires, it's actually pretty much dead on accurate. So you see the RPMs are a bit high. So one of the nice things is that if you're on the highway with this transmission, the turbo response is actually pretty good. So if you look at the boost gauge, so I'm pretty good mid-range power. Which is kind of nice now. But you see what it's like. It does pick up quickly. So. It's still pretty droney in here, so we're going to change the tip design. I'm going to cut a hole in the bumper and have the tip pointing outwards more, and I think that will really help with the noise. Oh, there's that hole. Border roads, man, not the best. So that's like 50-60% throttle. Watch for standing water. So it's definitely needing some help on the top end, and I feel like the combination of the small diameter intercooler piping and the long runner intake really just don't help it, because the response is really well. It's really good. Like, it's, you watch the turbo tail, it just lights up quick. That's 11 pounds. Actually, it's about 10 pounds. It hits 11 and it goes back to 10. So I'll roll on third here. That's half throttle. See, so it responds quick, like, which I'm sure is, you know, aided by the piping and the intake manifold. But I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of that response for ultimate flow. So what I hope to do is that once I have the fuel pump, we'll run some 94 through it, and then we'll turn the boost up a little bit. There's some, going back to the intercooler piping, I know I'm harping on it, but I think it's just too small, and I think this ECU wants to compensate too much for throttle tip in and response and everything. So it's in between shifts. If you're rough with it, it goes like really rich. So, you know what? It's like, is it amazing? No. I mean, it's, you know, we're talking about a 2-liter A valve that made 115 horsepower stock, right? This isn't, and we did, you know, we did port the head and put a cam in it, but we can do a little more to make the power delivery better. Another thing that I'm thinking about doing is spacing out the knock sensors to see if like that will lessen the intrusion, you know. So if we can make those knock sensors not so sensitive, get a few more degrees of timing, and a little more boost, a little more airflow, a better fuel pump, turn the boost up to like 15 pounds. I think it will definitely help it. I think at 10 pounds, you know, with this setup right now, we're probably like maybe like 200 horsepower. Like that's a guess, you know. But yeah, I mean that sort of is what it is, sort of thing. It will improve, it will get faster, but for the time being, it's driving, so that's what we're doing. On fourth, it feels really much stronger than first, second gear. They're so short and it goes through the RPM so quick that I think the ECU is just like, nah, like we're not optimized. So I think and I know that some of the guys that are running with the 2-liter A valves, like the turbo 2-liter A valves, is that they're switching to 1.8T ECU and wiring harness and everything. They adapt it, and then they'll run a custom tune so that they can, run bigger injectors and have a better processor. Definitely happier in third, fourth, fifth gears, like where it's better. So anyway, now we're going to focus on the next few videos. It'll be a different car, and we're also going to be doing the engine for the Passat, for the Jetta Wagon. So yeah, so we'll leave it here. Thanks for watching. And please like, share, subscribe. Help me grow the channel. That'd be great. If you think I deserve it, hit the likes and stuff, so that YouTube can recognize little me, so that I can bring you more turbo wagon, you know, nonsense. All right, man. Take it easy, guys. Thanks a lot. Peace out.